out of the ordinary than what we've been seeing so far. So, let's see how what the fate's going to be, how they're able to shape up as well for these two teams. Because, of course, again, just to remind everyone, Big Brain with a win here means there is a potential for them to join a three-way tiebreaker depending on some other results. So it is a must-win for them. And Holy Grail, they're just wanting to try and finish the season off with a 7-0 count as well.
And what a draft for them to try and do it with as well. Some left field picks. I think it's only really the Tiny that we haven't seen much of, but CSJ always in trouble. Oh, what a flame break.
Pushes him back towards the stairwell, so there will be no escape. And in the end, they're going to be able to chase him down and secure the kill. It's someone that's rewarded with first blood as well, so a very good way to start the game overall for Big Brain.
Yep, getting the kill there on CSJ is very, very important for them because Windranger is very hit or miss when it comes to playing Dota. So if she gets off to a good start, she's hard to deal with, but you can also shut her down relatively early, and that's exactly what they've done so far. Getting that kill there and SJ being able to help out Mr. Summer early on here. They get, 2 bounty runes out of this. They should be fine. They don't lose any more members, and they start off the landing phase with first blood.
Oh, off the mark with the D ward. Hate to see it. Very close on the next assassin, unfortunately not to be. Both the wards are on top of each other. So it would have been nice to be able to find that one. And now we got the lanes converging. We spoke a little bit about the Tiny Storm in the draft, but again, it should be... I think both sides are going to have a fine time. Whenever you have the tree, Gun's going to have a damage advantage, but being a melee hero versus Storm means you can also succumb to a lot of harass.
Yep, you can get remnanted quite a lot early on here, and the one big thing that Holy Grail have for them is that Nyx and Dark Willow, it's going to be hard for them to make rotations pre-level 6 towards that mid lane. So if Garn gets off to a good start, he's going to be okay, but also same is very much the opposite is very much the same for Cicada. He doesn't have to worry about a silencer rotating. I guess he kind of would have to be very careful of the Batrider, but you want to make sure this Batrider is staying in Dolme's lane for as long as possible, because we saw what happened in game number 1 when God King was able to do whatever he wanted on a Sven. Big scary man.
Yeah, and that was even a game where they didn't even make too many stacks as well for God King. So, which I can't imagine they'll make too many this game as well, considering you've got a Nyx Assassin as your position 4. So he doesn't really have the greatest time being able to help make stacks towards a triangle. So let us see. They do have a lot of ways to go through BKB, which is always an important thing when you're going up against a Sven. So I wonder this game if it's going to be like another Sanjin Yasha type of build for God King.
Yeah, probably. I think it did really, really well for him. It was a very similar draft that he was playing against as well, but does have to go into the duel this time around. But, the thing is with duel for the Sven is he can just kind of fight his way out of it. So still going to be a interesting set of mid-game fights for Holy Grail to try and figure out this time around. So I really am just looking towards Garn. I think he has to have another fantastic performance early on here. Get his treads, get his wand, go towards a blink dagger on the Tiny. Try and just make some space on these side lanes. There's a lot of heroes that he can gank and insta-kill, which is a big positive for the Tiny. He's got 3 or 4 heroes that are probably going to die in a combo. And then if they ever do feel like they need the Global Silence on top, SJ should almost always be at the ready.
Does look like Cicadas, though, having a very good time mid. The CS is starting to get a little bit out of control. I mean, Gun has a full wave. We'll see how he's able to CS under the tower. But yeah, Cicadas off to a pretty good start so far. A lot of it, of course, of the early game is going to come down to the power runes. His top lane, SJ. Can they secure the kill? They will be able to, but of course, Summer's there with the exchange. So a 1-for-1, I'd say you're pretty... I guess SJ did get the kill, unfortunately. I thought Summer was going to get it.
Yeah, if Summer got it, probably would be a little more happy with that. Garn went for a solo kill attempt onto Cicada, but it was a nice play with the glyphing of the wave to make sure that he didn't get stuck underneath the tower, just copping tower shots because he definitely would have died. But it's very back and forth between both these two mid laners. It's always nice to see. But look at God King, man. 23-1. Very good with how this lane is going. Dolme is also doing a very, very good job. Very reminiscent of game number 1. Dolme doing a good job to at least put a little bit of pressure on the God King. God King still doing his own stuff. Garn as well as Cicada are just going back and forth with each other. Sports have made their way towards mid. These next set of runes.
I do wonder who Dolme is going to play with this game, though, on the Legion. Because I don't think you have any real supports to get damage inside Jewel. Like, Batrider is a little bit more damage over time. It's not that quick burst inside, like a stun, a 4.5 second stun. So yeah, that's probably where the Tiny needs to come into play. But then both Legion and Tiny have a very, very similar role as just a blink initiator. So we'll see how easy it's going to be for Dolme to get these dual kills.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't succumb to the Legion syndrome and be like 20 minutes without dual victory and then have to dive underneath the tier 1 and still lose your life.
Hopefully he doesn't die here as well. It's like they've already used their stuns, so Dolme just takes a bunch of harass. Meanwhile, mid lane as well, Garn and Cicada duking it out. Cicada should be able to come out on top in another round of the Remnant, hoping it doesn't continue to find the misses. Yeah, you're right, the creeps also almost killing Cicada in the end.
Yeah, that was rough. It was very rough. I think it was a miss uphill, right, that was able to keep Garn alive. So this mid lane is very tenuous between both these two players. If someone gets a solo kill, the CS lead really just balloons out. Bottom lane, DQQ. They went underneath the tower to try and kill onto Xayah, but they just don't have the extra bit of damage. As you said, no real burst if they get on top of anybody. And it's very hard for them to confirm a lot of these kills. And seems like the early game is going quite well here for Big Brain. They're not all too far behind when it comes to some of the lanes in their CS.
They're going to be eyeing up Dolme bottom. They'll have the follow-up stun with the Impale. And you've also got the wraparound as well here for the Dark Willow. Great positioning. And no hesitation for the Nick Assassin to yoink that. He's a freebie. He'll take it. So we'll see how much he can get done this game with a little bit of gold. But of course, you are doing whatever you can to enable God King. And I mean, I guess CJ, he can play alone top lane. There's not really much that he needs to fear. He can always escape out of the Blade Fury.
Yeah, it's not really much. He's gone almost max out win run. I've been seeing a lot of win rangers do some weird leveling. It does bring down the cooldown to a nice almost 12 seconds. So it should be pretty good for him to constantly be able to get away from the Blade Fury, as you said. Constantly always be away to get away from the Juggernaut. So CSJ again is just going to be left on an island. Garn's probably going to be looking towards that top lane to try and make that first rotation to kill out on the Wind Ranger, who doesn't have 1,000 HP just yet. SJ is going to try and yoink a Wisdom Rune. Who's faster? Oh, SJ gets it.
Get it. All right,
he's going to get a kill too.
All right, he gets a kill, and Nick's Assassin goes down. CSJ, all right, couple kills. Couple kills for all the boys. So where'd the Wisdom Rune go? Both of them going to Holy Grail, and Holy Grail also got 2 kills as well. So it's a pretty good trade. I mean, more Storm Suit. Where's Garn? I fire off. I was a little bit worried for a second. I saw his health pool, but he's in the jungle. He ain't gonna die.
He's farmed some stacks. He was just trying to get that net worth back up so he can make his first rotation of the game. Being level 6 now, you can probably start to link up with the Dark Willow. See if you can try and kill Garn, or maybe if you can try and set your attention to Dolme. It's going to be hard because they have a lot of HP with these heroes, and they're very, very strong. SJ, he's just being such a menace. He's like not really doing much, but he's just walking around, just being a silencer.
Being a silencer. Feeding away your own life is usually one of those key signs of a silencer game. So, you know, he wants to continue being a silencer, and he'll do just that.
He was just throwing out arcane curses, being a nuisance, and they found his ward and they found him. So God King still gets away with it. CSJ, though, he could be in lots of trouble. Ooh. Disconnect. So Seeing this, they don't have any vision of Garn, so he's basically going to be able to run in here and get what he can. Maxed out win run, though, has to be very, very careful with this CSJ that he doesn't pop it too early, because you're going to get Avatossed anyways, right? So you need to make sure that you're not using a lot of that win run instantaneously. Do they have any TPs? They have one on God King, they've got one on Desire, and Nyx doesn't have one. So I think as long as they instantly respond, maybe they might be able to get CSJ out of dodge here. But I think he's pretty dead.
Not like that. Come on, I believe in you, CSJ. Just somehow read it, run to the left. You can do it. Go now. Oh no. Oh, they won't be able to get the chain damage, but they'll use their control as best as they can to stop the win rate. He might get a kill before he dies at least, but you're happy with that. I mean, Garn gets a streak, so you just feed the beast even more, so Garn gets himself closer towards the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it's actually... I mean, I'm sure there's somebody doing the math right now, but he popped himself over to a killing spree, so that meant it was a little bit more gold going in the way of Garn after that kill. But as you said, first rotation from the Tiny is always good, but CSJ gets himself an answer at least. So getting closer to that opening Blink Dagger. And I think once you get Blink here on the Tiny, you kind of just have to go super ham. Like, you can't sit back and farm. When you pick up a Blink Dagger, you just need to constantly keep going and going and going. And just hope that you keep some of these cores trodden down, that you can get towards your next couple of items and become a Tiny that is very scary.
So it's going to be up to the supports end to be able to de-ward, because there is a lot of vision set up just on Big Brain's half of the map, like to enter their own territory. Might see a toss back under the tower. Summer's going to be here with the Omni Slash. Of course, can always win run that off, so won't even go for it.
Yeah, max out win run's hard to do with 6 seconds of invulnerability, basically, most of the time. Is very hard to deal with. Also, the enemy slow is quite annoying. For something like Kutani, if you don't get enough damage with the Avalanche Toss or DQQ.
Long zip in, not going to get there. In the end, Sakata was like actually trying to steal the haste rune mid lane. I thought he was zipping top from afar, but even needing for the kills, that's nice. CSJ is going to get himself close to the Maelstrom, and now we'll be able to put some pressure onto the tower as well. Meanwhile, you've got God King taking his stack as well at the Ancients.
Okay. So, God King starting to accelerate here, right? Really getting to that scary moment, but not like Summer's that far behind. He is behind when it comes to having the Battle Fury, but net worth-wise, he's still in a pretty healthy spot. CSJ almost has his Maelstrom done, so they've got items that they can start moving around the map with. Looking to try and link up with Sakata, I'd imagine. But it's going to be very chill for the first like 10-15 minutes of this game, right? So like another 5 minutes or so until we start seeing a bit more aggression, because we need some Blink Daggers, we need some damage items until people start doing their own thing.
And one of those Blink Daggers should be coming out pretty shortly here. Garn is getting a pretty fat stack at the hard camp. Meanwhile, though, they're going to try and smoke into Summer's territory. This kill looks impossible with the Nyx Assassin not leading the charge.
Yeah, them not having the extra vision from the Vendetta was a little sus. CSJ wanted to buy his time a little bit more, but either way, they at least push Summer out of there. I'm going to try and confirm onto some kills. When a lot of these ganks don't really work out, you really feel like that you're wasting a bit of your time, but Skada and God King are farming, so it's not like everything is a complete waste right now, but Holy Grail, they are farming on all of their cores. DQQ could be in trouble again. Oh, interesting angle.
Sakata, that's a very interesting jump, along with no hesitation out of a global, but just a little bit too late. As soon as the Vortex was out, there was enough control for him to step away from the Tiny. going to waste that global presence. So he was able to back on off. So let's see what they want to do now with this. If there even is a play they can make on the map. They're still trying to attempt on DQQ, but the Batrider he's fine, man. He's just soaking up some gold, getting a little bit of experience top, trying to work towards his own Blink Dagger. Oops, slow pace game.
Yeah, I thought they were going to try and chase underneath the tower, but it seems like CSJ just doesn't feel the need to keep pressing forward. And smoke here from SJ as well as Garn. It's not going to collect on anything. So, yeah, I mean, a wasted smoke here from Garn, and the more minutes that he spends walking around not collecting onto kills means that it's just more minutes that he's not hitting creeps, right? And he needs to make sure that he is keeping within touching distance of the net worth. They're going to make it go once again on DQQ.
This doesn't look like a good jump though for Garn. Far out, maybe with the DD, never mind. Jesus, what was that damage? And I thought they were going to be able to blow up the Batrider as well, but DQQ shrugs off that initiation, turns with the lasso as well. That is a great way to get value out of your Blink Dagger. I apologize, I never doubted you, Garn. That gets him closer to the Echo Saber now, which is ever so vital.
Summer was testing the waters a little bit here. And has to Blade Fury himself away from God King. So that was a good reveal there from Garn to be able to bring in his Blink Dagger and get himself a kill. So the smoke was not wasted this time around. And to get that Echo Saber, things still need to continue to keep snowballing for him, though. It's not like you can rest on your laurels as soon as that Echo Saber comes out. Tiny is a hero that needs to keep being in the chase, being in the hunt for a lot of this net worth. They are sharing 3 of the 4 top net worths for Holy Grail. So they're doing a good job at keeping a lot of their cores within touching distance of this Fen, but God King is really starting to create a streak. He's about, what, 800 gold ahead of Summer, over 1,000 gold ahead of both Dolme as well as Garn. So if he keeps doing what he's done in this entire series and hit creeps and farm really fast, this Fen can be an issue. I'm just trying to think, like, what do they really have against him? I think the only issue that he's really going to run into is being lassoed, but, I mean, he had to deal with that in game number 1. It seems like he shrugged it off mostly. So, Holy Grail need to try and figure out a way of killing a Sven this time around.
So I guess you got to look at then an early nullifier before, because we saw that was the big thing in game 1 with the lifesteal versus Sven, where they had the nullifier for 1 fight and they were able to like get 4 kills off the back of it. So it is definitely in the build of the Juggernaut as well. We've seen a lot of the Sanjin Yasha into nullifier interceptor. So I wonder if that's going to be a similar thing. I mean, he might even need to consider about an MKB though at some stage this game for the Wind Ranger. But I think one thing about just the Sven this game is that, again, we spoke about very early on, is he's going up against a lot of BKB piercing control.
Yeah.
So looks like he does have that halberd actually now queued up. He's not going to complete the harpoon. I imagine this would be a Sanjin Yash for him, and he just prays that he gets the Titan Sliver. Yeah.
I mean, I think, it's like 5 items out of how many? It's like 20-something in the Titan Sliver area. Which one is it? Tier 3? Yeah, so it's 5 out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 out of 12. So, I mean, you got pretty good chances of it rolling for you. So it's not the worst to try and go for, but does feel like that the Sanjin Yasha was very, very important. So I agree with him going for that a little earlier.
They still don't. It's on cooldown for another 5 seconds. Garn's going to do whatever he can to try and disrupt them, but that is a great timing out of the pickoff, because if they walk up this jungle, Summer is taking like a 5 stack. That would be huge to take away, but they're going to go for the tower instead, which is also very important, but could have been a big opportunity to slow down this Jug's extra growth.
Yeah, could you imagine if they just went a little bit further up and they just saw this massive ancient stack? You probably would be counting the minutes for Holy Grail for them to try and, hold on to that ancient stack, but they didn't get it. They do lose a tier 1 tower. Duel now underneath the tier 2 tower for Dolme, so he gets his first bit of duel damage. Feels pretty nice.
Did he just run into... I didn't see the start. Did he blink on the Nyx, or did he just run into the Legion and get the duel?
Nyx was following Dolme through the jungle.
Okay.
And then it just got to the point where he just ran underneath a Sentry Ward, and Dolme just said, thank you. Got himself a free kill.
That's a freebie. That is a freebie, and now you got your blink as well. So let's see. I mean, very similar to what occurs with the Tiny when you get this blink dagger, is you need to get kills with it, or otherwise it could just be dead net worth as this game goes on. Garner's done that, but he's still slowing down a little bit from the Tiny. He's not last sitting at all. He's well behind everyone else in CS. So he needs to continue to get kills, and so too does the Legion Commander now with his blink. So I'd love to see them to start to play aggressively and try and force a fight.
Yeah, I think both of them can kind of just play together.
There we go. There's the turnaround. This could be beautiful. It was the win run fast enough. It looks like it was. So at least they would have mitigated some of the damage. But Garn wraps on the back line. So able to stop the retreat. They'll get a 1-for-1. And now even Cicada's looking to try and put his own stamp on this team fight. Should be able to catch up to the Silencer. She's going to crumble the top of the stairs. Garn's still looking for the close-up. He's now committed incredibly deep. Cicadas doesn't have the greatest mana pool still to work with. If he can somehow get down to the rune as well, there is a shield rune for Garn to play, but he will not get anywhere near it, as even though it was looking like a great start for Holy Grail, the win run just delays that initial attempt, and then everyone required shows up for Big Brain to turn it back their way.
Yeah, if he didn't get win run off, he would have got obliterated. And same with the Dark Willow, they would have just been completely both blown up. But good start for them to be able to hold off. The Omni Slash as well as the duel really didn't get much out of it for them. They eventually do turn around and get the kill, but it took them much more time, and now it just meant that Cicada was able to come into the fight and do whatever Cicada wants to do, because a lot of the control has been taken off of the board. Gonna try again here. Didn't get the win run off.
And still going to be lacking the damage, though. Okay, yep. So again, we spoke about it. You don't get these kills off the back of the blink pickup. It is really going to delay these upcoming items.
Yep, it's very similar for Garn as well. He's just got himself an Echo Saber. Like, yes, they're still slightly ahead of the Storm as well as the Wind Ranger, but all it takes is them getting Gleipnir and their heroes completely change.
Big team fight breaking out down bottom. It seems God King's pretty hesitant about taking this engagement, though. Even Dire as well. I don't know if they want to try and jump in or not with the Silencer not being available.
You have to be careful of buyback global, which can be a real possibility very soon. They don't want to go too far, but they will just leave it be. God King is at that point where he is very, very scary. Harpoon picked up now as well from him. Same with the Sange. He is just scorching ahead of the net worth. Summer is starting to at least keeping within touching distance of the Sven. But from what I remember, Juggernaut versus Sven is still pretty hard for the Jug, because the Sven will basically kill everybody else around you, whereas there's a very high potential for the Juggernaut to just be Omnislashing a Sven, and he really doesn't care about it.
Now, eyeing up CSJ. You want to try and pop him on the high ground and have fun. What's your wind run going to do now, brother? Absolutely nothing. A global silence as well, just in case with the backline heroes. Cicada, along with Desire, were kind of considering about jumping in, but they felt like that was a cause that was not worth their attention and all their efforts. So they'll back on off. You do have God King that's at least farming across the map. That is a global silence wasted as well. Used, not wasted. It is used. They get the kill, but let us see what they want to do now with the wind running just spawning shortly.
Yeah, it's the opportunity now for Big Brain to be able to fight back. Level 1 lasso as well, so it's going to be on cooldown for a decent amount of time. No global silence, no duel, no lasso. Juggernaut's still sitting back and farming for a decent while. Nyx has gotten a Dagon. He went Dagon first.
Damn.
I like it. I like it.
Respect.
Gives them that extra bit of burst, because their supports are kind of lacking damage, to be perfectly honest. And if they just have that little bit of extra burst on the back of the small amount of lockdown they have, can be good.
So he's making a go on Gone. Looks like he's okay. There was a shackle there, but no one to follow. Back to top we go now. A long zip in from Cicada. God King's going to be able to jump and follow in pursuit as well. Halberd was just completed, which is going to stop some of the extra damage, but not if they get the Omni Slash to start. He's going to be able to chain it onto the creep, so Summer was hoping for a better ultimate to turn the tides. God King is getting kited though, toss it around, blinks away, DQQ avoids the stun. A good start, they get Dolme, nothing else breaks out.
Okay. Gold strength for Omni Slash, pretty fair trade, I think, for both of these two carries. Omni Slash did literally nothing to God King. He tanked the entire thing, and then some of it went over to the creeps as well. But it is very hard for someone to do the damage into a halberded up Sven. He's got a lot of HP, he's got a lot of evasion. So look to see if someone wants to try and be the trendsetter. It seems like he wants to go for the butterfly early, whether or not he's going to respond with like an MKB Ags kind of build. So both these two teams are, I mean, this game is like on a knife's edge, right? Like it's only 2k gold so far for Big Brain. Doesn't feel like anybody's really got a stranglehold of about how these team fights are going, and everyone is still kind of struggling to get to that next item to maybe get them over the hump.
God King, there's a DD now on Summer. This time we're going to be able to see the damage output of the Juggernaut. Is it enough inside the duel? It is, so they get the victory as a little surprise on top. Now they're even hunting for more. This is still a great opportunity. Do they want to continue to fight? It's going to be Cicada that starts a blow-up dome. Now as well, they need to try and get some more out of it. A 1-for-1 makes it a 1-for-2. Still they're a little bit dangerous. DQQ taking the brunt to the force. Desire's not going to have the damage by himself, and now CSJ, he's just committed too far. He's past the line, and once you've gone over, there is no going back to the safety of your own territories. In the end, Holy Grail will make it an incredible team fight for themselves.
Yeah, CSJ just held the focus fight for so long. I thought he would just commit it straight away, just kill DQQ, get yourself the heck out of dodge, but wasn't to be, and they feed away a few more extra kills. They only get the kill onto Dolme, but getting kills for Summer and Gun is exactly what you need to have happen this time around. Yeah, your Legion Commander is probably going to end up being a little bit of a liability for you, but you can already see how important she is to the team fight. They just get like a toss back onto the Sven, they lasso him back into the team, duel up, and Global Silence on top to confirm it. And that's kind of all Dolme needs to do. Be tanky enough to be able to deal with that. So just going into the BKB for Legion Commander, whereas Garn is now able to transition into his own BKB as well. So Cores are starting to get some stuff done, but Big Brain, they want to try and fight without the Global Silence.
See, they're going to be able to catch out though. Dolme would be a nice target. He gets out of danger, so it's like no team fight will break out. They'll be a little bit too late to contest this, or will they? They're going to go the long way around. It might run into Summer though. Is this the target? Can you blow him up? Ooh, looks like you might be able to. Whoa! All right, maxed out Mind Flare along with the Dagon. His health just evaporated in the span of a couple of seconds.
Yeah, poor Summer just got obliterated. Like, there's nothing he could really do. It was like almost 1,500 damage.
Ages, guys, ages. No.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Fire out. That scared the shit out of me. Holy.
Especially because God King and CSJ kind of just soloed that by themselves. I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but the way that they're able to get the kill on the Summer, that all but confirms it, and then they leave it on the ground for Cicada. And now this Storm is starting to really enjoy his game of Dota 2. So at the Kai Assange, getting towards the BKB, does a lot of damage, can run around with his Nyx Assassin. So things are starting to get a little spooky for Holy Grail. They need some of their wacky hero picks to be able to work out for them. Maybe with Garm with the BKB, he can be a terror in these team fights, but he's kind of really only an avalanche toss, and that's it right now. It doesn't have the attack speed, doesn't really have the physical damage either. And just to see how he does transition into these later stages of the game, because he is playing against a Sven, a Storm, and a Wind Ranger, all heroes that will be able to just kind of run circles around him in a team fight. Maybe it's just Ags. Maybe you just go like Ags, Daedalus after your BKB, and you just hope people stay together and you just blow them up with like 3 auto attacks.
I was going to say something like a Silver's Edge. At least I will always fall back to GPK's Tiny, because I think that is currently now one of the better Tinies in the world. And when I covered Eastern Europe, he played it a decent chunk and had a lot of success. He liked the Silver's Edge, but this game, it doesn't provide you any, like, the break is not good. Of course, there are a lot of other aspects to that item, so maybe it's something you go for on your way towards a Scepter, but you are really going to need to find a way to address this Sven, because he's getting... he's about to have a BKB, and we saw once he got to this stage on God King in the previous game. Was it that or game one? No, game one.
Game one.
He was just an absolute menace. And Summer's kind of itemizing... Like, I don't see the value too much out of the Skadi. Like, it's not against range carries, not against any healing. Yes, make sure, like, minimizing some of the attack speed out of the Sven can be nice. But I am a little bit intrigued about this Skadi choice.
Yeah, I am as well. Maybe he just feels like he needs extra bit of HP against, like, the Nyx Assassin gank. Like, maybe that just
that
kind of swayed him from being absolutely obliterated by, like, a Dagon and a Mind Flare. So that's the only thing that I can think of is just like, I need HP.
Okay. No, I like that. I'm trying to think of another item he could have considered then for raw health. I mean, he did have that Sanjin Yashi queued up, but you're not going to go that along with the Mantle.
Do you go Satanic? Is that probably the only other way that you could go? But then it's like third item Satanic, and that feels kind of bad.
Yeah, it feels kind of crap. But I don't know what neutral items he got as well. He's got scale, so it's okay, but it's not really raw health, so we'll see. He's got the Skadi now. I mean, this is a big timing. Either side just getting a lot of big items, so they are ready to go. A couple BKBs, one on the Tiny, and of course the one on the Sven, like we were mentioning too. So nothing for them to fear. They're going to be able to group up. They still have a minute 30 left of the Ages. Doesn't look like they want to... Well, God King's... Maybe he just wants his farm and then he's going to back off, because the rest of the team is setting up on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, it seems like they've got a little whiff about what's going on. They completely vacate this bottom side of the map, and they will at least be privy that there is something going on with their ward being de-warded. So do they have a smoke to try and transition that back into a counter gank? Yeah, so it looks like they do. 4-man gank right now. They will be able to walk down towards the bottom side of the map, and this is going to be hard for them to play into. Tiny does have a shield rune, so he basically has 5,000 HP. Well, they found him out.
Oh,
away.
And they catch him though. They're still pretty speedy. Long zip in, good timing out of the Vortex on Summer, and SJ as well covers himself with the Glimmer Cape. Now no Vortex to cancel the TP, and he lives as well. So this is a very awkward movement from Radiant. They TP across the map where they had no objectives. Maybe they were reading that Holy Grail was starting to set up there, but 4-man TP top, then to smoke back on Dai's side of the map, and that smoke doesn't connect. So maybe losing some of their advantages. Dome, he's not going to mess around. He wants to take the Nyx out of the equation. The Parvis, not enough to protect him. They used the Global Stance to kind of help cover the retreat though, so there's not a whole lot of value out of that first initiation, but they still got DQQ as the second round of jump. God King's going to do whatever he can to protect the Dark Willow. They should be able to do enough in the timing to make it okay trade. And the Cores be able to turn this fight back around. They are underneath an Observer Ward. Summer finds to slash the damage. It's not really enough for the moment. The win run's mitigating a majority of it. Now with the buybacks, they could be the costly thing. Is it going to be enough to bring them back in the favor of Big Brain as God King? This God Threat is about to expire as his damage is going to be lacking now. They'll turn to get the helmet onto Summer, but he doesn't have the damage to stand strong in the middle. Summer's still falling lower and lower. Can they get the Juggernaut over the tree line? It goes. Summer tries to turn. It's not going to be enough. It's Cicada. Going to be cautious. They got that high gun ward. Cicada's in with the combo. On to two. They'll miss the Impale. Ring around the Rosie. Back to the other side. But now with the Yules, it'll set up for the Mind Flare. He'll TP out. That's ambitious at best. And now it's a gem for his own little prize on top for the Nyx Assassin.
What a long, drawn-out fight. The biggest issue that Big Brain had was Cicada had no mana. He was waiting for the Ages to get reclaimed. It was only about 5-10 seconds before that fight did proc out. And he had no mana to enter the fight, so he's just sitting back farming creeps. and then eventually it does get reclaimed, and he gets back to full HP. See in the top side of the overlay, you can see that there's only a couple seconds left on the Aegis, and Cicada is so low on the mana. Now he gets his mana back, but they've already lost a lot of their members in this fight, and they want to try and set up to get the kill here on the Summer. He reacts quick enough, gets the Omni Slash off, and a lot of this God Strength did get wasted here by God King, and you can just see how much damage he does do inside of the God Strength. But if they're able to kite him around like they have been in these last couple of fights, it is very hard for them to actually stick around and get these kills. So Holy Grail did a really good job team fighting that time around, but that was mostly a team fight without Cicada there. And I think if Cicada was there, that definitely could have been a much worse team fight for Holy Grail.
I really like this item change for Jug. He had the butterfly queued up. He's going to go MKB now. We saw the inside the replay with his Omni Slash onto the Wind Ranger was just doing no damage. You're also needing to go up against the Halberd evasion as well. So I think this MKB is definitely going to provide you that extra damage you might be lacking as well. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get there, though, because Roche is potentially up in 20 seconds. It will spawn down on this Radiant side, and Dolme and the crew are already getting set up for this area. So it is now going to be very difficult for Radiant to be able to crack.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just setting up a lot of this vision as well for this team fight. They want to try and see whether or not they've got anything they want to try and play around with. They've got one last ward, but having the ward already on the Twin Gate, you probably don't want to double down on this area because you're not 100% sure where Roche is going or when Roche is going to spawn. They have an inkling that it is close. I believe it is almost a max duration. So it is very, very close for it being spawned up, and that's why Holy Grail is sitting here. But now you can already see Spidey senses are tingling. I don't know why. Okay, it was an illusion. I was going to say, I was like, why would you ever deny a bounty rune?
Well, they see God King, and I mean, they probably should know that everyone else is going to be playing with him. So how do they get the... Oh, wait, Summer went through the rift. As soon as they get the scan, he surely goes back. Or maybe he wants to Manta? Okay.
Yeah, he's Manta to push top.
Out top. But he's going to come back, and the Nyx will be straight on top. He got the Spike Carapace off. That could be huge to keep him alive. It's a pretty big global silence as well. It'll be a 1-for-1 as they assassinate. Oh, wait, they got Cicada? Cicada zipped into his own death. Now this is all up to God King. How much damage does he truly have? They're going to toss him away. It means that Summer also follows with the slashes. The chain control is perfect. Very messy from either side. Gans are stuck in the trees. Get the blinked out reposition. They're going to find him further off the right side. There is no escape on the edge of the world. They will knock him off. And now Big Brain, they can look to reap the rewards. Roche is all for them.
Yep, that was a very interesting fight. And it all started out with getting the Spike Carapace from Nyx, right? Like, if he didn't get that Spike Carapace off, things got really bad for them really fast. But they were able to hold out just long enough. Cicada getting dueled is probably the worst outcome for them. And if God King was able to harpoon himself up onto the high ground, he would have just cleaned through absolutely everybody for the side of Holy Grail. But he harpooned, he was able to assassinate one member. I'm not quite sure who it was. I think it was DQQ. And then he wasn't able to get back up onto the high ground. So he had to walk around the long way. That meant that Cicada took some time to get it. They can hold on to the Aegis here. Cicada is TPing towards bottom.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Was that a solo kill? He has an E-blade, bro.
Kill.
What?
What?
This is pub Nyx Assassin. This is what this is. This is a pub Nyx Assassin just running around and killing people. Yeah, he does like 1,100 damage with Mind Flare. Like,
dude, okay. Chuckling. He's mad laughing right now. I don't blame him. Look at that. This is crazy.
What a fun game to be playing Nyx. You just walk around and you solo kill their offlaner. You're level 21, they're level 19. You have an E-blade. This is a game for you to get yourself in the sniff for tiebreakers. You know? He's got Dagon too as well.
Pretty good bait. They spring it as soon as they see multiple members run straight into it, unaware. So, That's a big streak, firstly, that Summer gets.
Yep.
You do pop Lasso, which doesn't have the longest cooldown, but really Global Silence is probably the biggest one.
Yes, they use a lot for that, but it's about now what do Big Brain get out of it, right? Like they kind of baited their very expensive Nyx Assassin. And if they can try and get a fight going their way now, this could be big.
Oh, nice Lasso to be able to
no.
disrupt. Dom's going to do whatever he can. It's
What an Omni.
Huge Omni Slash. Look at all the red numbers. Summer slicing and dicing. Gets all four in a Cicada. He's about to be out of mana, but they will not pursue on. They are happy with what they've got, and Gem as well in the hands of SG. What a timing for the MKB to get delivered for Summer's Juggernaut. Oh my god, let's see that damage count. 6,600.
Yep, that is the perfect time for you to be picking up the MKB. Dolme also did a really good job at getting a duel on the right target. Catching out Cicada, getting that duel, and CSJ was just too close to this fight. I thought this was going to be horrible for them. They just didn't have the reveal to quite get on top of Garn, and this duel and Omni Slash combo absolutely obliterated Big Brain.
Oh, mid lane, back live, they got the duel into the Storm Spirit.
Oh no.
Ooh, whoa, what is going on?
Uh-oh. We were having smiles on the faces just before of Big Brain, and now it's nothing but sorrow. That was... If they could take these last 2 minutes back, they definitely would, because they had the Aegis, they had Cheese, they had everything, and they're falling to pieces now. Oh.
He's waving. Are you serious? Oh, they're going to get him too. He's got the Yules to maybe be an issue, but gone. Wait, they're going to be cautious if they TP in. The Zion, they are starting to respawn, so it looks like Holy Grail will respect that.
Okay. Yeah, that could have been bad if they got themselves caught on at the tier 1 tower with the respawners that were coming in. Yes, they didn't have Cicada to chase them down, but God King definitely would have been enough. And this game swings back once again. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We've got an AC on Dolme as well, so Chug was hitting hard before, and now he's hitting even harder. He's freshly picked up a Blink Dagger after that last fight, so these team fights are really starting to get scary, and this is what happens sometimes when you're playing up against a Juggernaut, right? Like, he just gets to this critical mass where he's finally been able to accumulate the right set of items for him to win the game, and he just has a big Omni Slash, and if you don't deal with him in these fights, he is going to murder everybody. So Summer really in prime position now to carry this game. He's finally overtaken the Sven.
It really seems like you are relying on your Nyx Assassin because you've gone for this build. Now you need to be able to execute it. It feels like they need him to blow up one of the supports and the Wind Ranger to blow up one of the supports as well. But she is really starting to fall a little bit behind. I mean, she's going Link instance. I guess that does help out a lot with her damage still, all these stat items, but you need to get easy kills onto the Silencer, onto the Batrider.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a good mobility item to get her in those scenarios, though. So, you know, she kind of has to pop BKB Wind Run to get close. And then you're just hoping that the Gleipnir plus the Focus Fire is enough for you to kill CSJ, who's got 4 staff, he's got Glimmerscape, he's got everything.
They're going to see God King. Do they jump the Sven? They're going to go for the supports simultaneously. Gone. He'll try and do his best to mitigate the effectiveness out of the Sven. And they are doing a great job at that. BKB, God Strength wasted. He's going to run up to the north. They want to stick around, though. Cicada tries to play aggressively. Going on to Garn, but Garn's tanky, man. 3,500 health. They'll still be able to shred him apart, but now it's going to be up to the Juggernaut, but the Slashers starting to stack up. They've got the Lasso as well. It's looking awkward for Dyer. And now they're going to be able to punish them as Juggernaut. He is in no man's land without the boys to add some assistance. It's going to be 3 heroes that surround him and push him down into the depths of hell.
Yeah, he thought that maybe he could assassinate the Sven, right? He just blinks in, Omni Slashes him directly, but Sven, luckily enough for him, he had something to hit with his Satanic. If he didn't have anything to hit when he popped Satanic, then he probably would have died. He lifestealed quite a lot of HP from it, and the fact that God King was able to live the Omni Slash just means that he doesn't have a care in the world. He gets lassoed afterwards, does not matter. And the God King is just standing tall once again. It is so hard to deal with this, Sven, because You have to execute such a well-formulated plan to kill a Sven at this point in the game, and if you don't, he just hits you for 2.5k crits and you just can't do anything about it.
Whoa!
Oh, Dolme, no. That's a take it 4, baby. Oh.
1k gold he just got for that kill.
Huge.
I'm surprised he's not waving as well, considering Legion was doing it last time, who at least has a buyback, but will be forced to use it potentially.
Oh. Yeah, they just lose a lane of racks, right? Like, you lose one fight to a Sven, he pops God Strength, and he's still got it for another, 5 or so seconds, and he just obliterates these buildings.
I heard Lasso. They got the Knicks. This is a spiteful Lasso. They are begging DQQ to take him out of the game, and he'll be out for 90 seconds now. It does mean they get a full set of barracks top along with mid. Big Brain. Have they done it? Have they potentially put themselves in a position where they could be joining a 3-way tiebreaker depending on our last series of the night?
Yeah, I mean, also they get the moniker of being the only team to beat Holy Grail in this tour so far. Holy Grail have been untouched. To be fair, a lot of Holy Grail series have gone to 3 games, but a lot of their experience and a lot of their prowess has been able to allow them to come back in this 3-game series.
Jump.
CSJ, this is not it.
And that's an Omni Slash and a Global as well. So they get the kill, heavy commitment, but he's down for 90. And of course, those cooldowns will be back up by then. Doesn't look... they are kind of setting up on Brute Brain. Cicada, he's under a ward. Now, he does have a shield rune and a cheese as well. They'll need
Lincoln's.
the duel. And a Lincoln's. There you go. Very important call. Beautifully done. You see, pops the lasso. And there was nothing else to follow.
Yeah, maybe if they walked in with like an avalanche and a toss, they would have had enough time for DQQ to pop the Lincolns with his jewels and then lasso the Storm Spirit, but wasn't enough. And you can see now that Cicada's able to get away for free. Maybe they were hoping to have a little bit more of an adverse reaction coming out of Cicada, hoping that maybe he'd like BKB or something like that, but they didn't get anything out of it. And now CSJ is dead for 33 seconds. Roshan's going to be up in 50, so he will be on the Radiant side for a decent amount of time. Looking at the Knicks to see who he will find. No sentry. There's one sentry near the ramp of the Twin Gate, so Mr. SJ is just hiding in the Roche pit.
And buybacks is really the important commodity now. Knicks silence up. Only ones with that second life. Being down bottom now, it also means that Radiant will be able to TP directly to the outpost, whereas Dire have to go top and through the rift. It was Smoke though. What's the call? How do they want to position themselves? Counter Smoke as well from Big Brain. Dire have a pretty good formation set up. They've got this high ground ward. So Desire's going to try and do whatever he can to give them some information. Smoke pops, so they want to jump the Dark Willow though. DQQ, he'll offer himself up, and now they also get the back on as well. They wanted the Nyx Assassin. He's going to be able to buy some time off the back of the Eel Scepter. Now it's up to Gortinka to work. Numbers advantage, favoring the boys on Holy Grail. Meanwhile, Cicada with a freshly picked up Scepter. Finds a Vortex onto 2. God King will claw back Summer as well. This potentially could be the wipe unless they're able to get out of danger as SJ pops out a Glimmer into his own grave. And Summer, where are you running? That, no way. No way. All right, somehow he gets through the rift. He's going to TP back to base. But this is a free Roche for the boys on Radiant. And they can walk it down with 3 buybacks not available for Holy Grail.
Yeah, they use a lot.
He's going for the solo kill. Oh! He's going for the solo kill. Are you serious? Get my Nyx cam up. Is my boy laughing? He is not. Stone face, but he deserves those tips. Timeless relic.
Shit.
Where is Jug?
Oh my god. That. Oh wow. What a. That was. Props. Nyx gets MVP 100%. The amount of damage that he did, and having the balls, he brought back as well. Having the balls to just go, Juggernaut's here, I'm going to go kill him. And now he gets rewarded with the Ag Scepter as well in the Burrow. Jug is dead for another minute, and this just means that God Strength Sven will take Mega Creeps, and now Holy Grail, much like game number 1, have to fight against Megas. Can they finally get the monkey off their back that is the God King Sven? I don't really know, man.
What are they doing? I'm so confused. God King's ending, and it doesn't matter. But no one's saying there's going to be no defense. They just knew God King could do it. They knew he could do it. What an interesting series this one was.